तो किसानों को ट्रांसफर करने का एक बहुत बड़ा खांचा रखा है। ट्रांसफर करने का एक बहुत बड़ा खांचा रखा है। आपको बताएं न केवल किसान, ये जो फोकस है क्षेत्र को किस तरह से, न केवल किसान बल्कि साथ जोड़ा जाना है, क्षेत्र को किस तरह से एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट के साथ जोड़ा जाना है, किस तरह से एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट के साथ जोड़ा जाना है, किस तरह से स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम के साथ जोड़ा जाना है, उसकी एक आधारशिला है। अब तक हम किसानों को लोन कितना दिया जाए, किसानों के लिए बुनियादी ढांचे में कितना दिया जाए, बढ़ोतरी किसानों के लिए बुनियादी ढांचे में सिंचाई की योजना है, बढ़ोतरी की जाए, किसानों के लिए जो पहला बजट योजना है पैसे कितने बढ़ाए गए, ये पहला बजट ऐसा नजर आता है पर छोड़ा नहीं जा सकता है कि किसानों को उनके हाल पर नहीं जा जोड़ना ही होगा, किसानों को क्रेडिट लाइन के साथ जोड़ना ही होगा, जो नई किसानों को क्रेडिट लाइन के साथ साथ जो उसके साथ जोड़ना ही होगा, नया इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, ये बजट साथ जोड़ना ही होगा। चलते हुए इसलिए ये बजट आपको आधारशिला है, पूरे कृषि क्षेत्र बदलता हुआ नजर आएगा, आधारशिला है बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बदलता हुआ नजर आएगा। जो नदियों को जोड़ने की योजना है उस पर बहुत, जो नदियों को जोड़ने की योजना है उस पर बहुत, इसलिए 44,000 दिखा है केन बेतवा प्रोजेक्ट जो जोड़ने के लिए 44,000 करोड़ रुपए बजट में जो मंजूरी दी गई है, और जो बजट में अलग दी गई है नदियों को जोड़ने की योजना है, उसको भी अलग जो नदियों को जोड़ने की योजना है उसको भी बैकबोन रहा गया है। एमएसएमई सेक्टर जो कि एमएसएमई सेक्टर जिसने कि लोगों को बचा के रखा, एमएसएमई सेक्टर जिसने कि लोगों को बचा के रखा, रोजगार को बचा के रखा, की योजना है गारंटी, उसमें आप समझे कि ये योजना है पूरा का पूरा जो आंकड़ा, आप समझे कि ये करोड़ रुपए से शुरू हुआ था, आंकड़ा अब ये आंकड़ा बढ़कर के 5 लाख करोड़ रुपए तक पहुंचा है, और उसके साथ ही 2 लाख करोड़ रुपए तक पहुंचा है पैकेज, और उसके साथ 2 लाख में दिया जाएगा एमएसएमई बहुत बड़ा 2022 वित्त मंत्री को यह पता है, एमएसएमई बहुत बड़ा फोकस क्योंकि वित्त मंत्री को यह पता है करना इसलिए जरूरी है क्योंकि वही सबसे ज्यादा रोजगार पैदा कर सकते हैं, जरूरी है क्योंकि वही सरकार की तरफ से गारंटी लोन की जो सुविधा है उनको सरकार की तरफ से गारंटी रुपए की दी जाएगी, सुविधा है स्पष्ट तौर पर जो फोकस है रुपए की खेती बाड़ी के बाद जो बहुत बड़ा फोकस है वो एमएसएमई खेती बाड़ी के बाद बहुत बड़ा फोकस है वो एमएसएमई के साथ कर्ज की सुविधा मिलेगी, सरकारी गारंटी के साथ कर्ज की सुविधा मिलेगी। हम लगातार चर्चा कर रहे थे कि बजट में शुरुआत की गई, लगातार चर्चा कर रहे थे इस साल उसको बजट में शुरुआत की गई थी, पिछले बजट में इस साल करीब 1,000 करोड़ रुपए मिले हैं, घरों को जोड़ा जाना है, हर घर नल से, प्रधानमंत्री आवास जोड़ा जाना है, हर घर नल से घर बनाए जाएंगे, आवास योजना के 48,000 करोड़ रुपए दिए गए बनाए जाएंगे, और उसके लिए 48,000 करोड़ रुपए दिए गए हैं। लगातार बढ़ा है, आपको बताएं कि जो आवंटन लगातार बढ़ा है, उस पर भी खर्च बढ़ा है, जो सरकार की जो केंद्र सरकार की योजना है उस पर भी खर्च बढ़ा है, की जो आगे जाते हुए योजना है वो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक, आगे जाते हुए सभी का वो बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक जिस पर सभी का सरकार क्या करेगी, क्रिप्टो करेंसी बिल्कुल साफ हो चुकी है, क्या करेगी तस्वीर ये साफ हो चुकी है, साफ हो चुकी है राष्ट्रपति तस्वीर ये साफ हो चुकी है कि जिस तरह से डिजिटल एसेट्स पर हमने देखा के बाद जिस तरह से डिजिटल एसेट्स पर हमने देखा कि जो प्रधानमंत्री ने भी लगातार पूरी दुनिया को ये आगाह किया, प्रधानमंत्री ने भी लगातार पूरी दुनिया को ये आगाह किया, वैलिडेट नहीं कर सकते, हम इसको बढ़ावा नहीं दे सकते, वैलिडेट नहीं कर सकते, बजट में बढ़ावा नहीं दे सकते, कहा गया है कि देश ये बजट में आरबीआई पर कहा गया है कि एक डिजिटल करेंसी लेकर के आएगा, बहुत बड़ी बात है, खुद की एक बजट में इसका ऐलान किया गया है, एक बहुत बड़ी बात है, बजट में इसका ऐलान किया गया।
के पश्चात सदस्य कृपया बजट भाषण की अपनी अपनी प्रति प्रकाशन पलक से ले सकते हैं। आइटम नंबर 1,
Honorable Speaker, we are marking Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and have entered into Amrit Kal, the 25-year-long lead up to India at 100. Honorable Prime Minister in his Independence Day address had set out the vision for India at 100. By achieving certain goals during Amrit Kal, our government aims to attain this vision. They are complementing the macroeconomic level growth focus with a microeconomic level all-inclusive welfare focus, promoting digital economy and fintech, technology-enabled development, energy transition and climate action, and relying on virtuous cycles starting from private investment with public capital investment, helping to crowd in those who private investment. Adverse health and economic effects. Since 2014, our government's focus has been on empowerment and recovery of the economy, especially the poor and the marginalized. Measures have included India's programs that have provided housing, electricity, cooking gas, and access to water. We also have programs for ensuring financial inclusion and direct benefit transfers. We are committed to strengthening the abilities of the poor to tap all opportunities. Further, our government constantly strives to provide the necessary ecosystem for the middle classes, with a vast and wide section which is populated across various middle-income brackets to make use of the opportunities they so desire. That with Sabka Prayas, this budget our journey seeks to lay the foundation and give a blueprint to steer the economy over Amritkal of the next 25 years, from India at 75 to India at 100. It continues to build on the vision drawn in the budget of 21-22. Its fundamental tenets, which included transparency of financial statement and fiscal position, reflect the government's intent, strengths, and complementing the macroeconomic levels to guide us. Focus. The initiatives of the last year's budget have seen significant progress and have been provided with adequate allocations in this technology-enabled development, the strengthening of health and climate infrastructure, speedy implementation of the vaccination program, and the nationwide resilient response to the current wave of the pandemic are evident for all. The productivity-linked incentives in 14 our government's focus for achieving the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat has received excellent response. Measures have included 16 lakh new jobs housing and an additional production of gas and 30 lakh crore. We also have programs for ensuring financial towards implementation of the new public sector enterprise policy. We are committed to strengthening the transfer of ownership of Air India has been completed. The strategic constantly strives to provide the necessary ecosystem for the strategic partner for Neelachal Ispat Nigam Limited, which is populated across various middle-income public issue of the LICs is expected shortly. Others too are in the process of for 2022 to lay the foundation and give a blueprint to steer the economy over Amritkal of the next 25 years. From India, the National Bank for Infrastructure Development and National Asset Reconstruction Company have commenced their activities. Its fundamental tenets, which included budget 2021-22, had provided a sharp increase in provision for public investments of capital expenditure. This continues the year with the Honorable Prime Minister guiding the implementation. Our economic recovery is continuing to benefit from the multiplier in this budget as well. The strengthening of health in this budget continues to provide impetus program for growth. And the nationwide it lays a parallel track of one, a blueprint for the Amritkal, which is futuristic and inclusive. 14 sectors. This will directly benefit the vision of our youth, women, has received farmers, the scheduled castes, and the scheduled tribes. And number 2, and an additional production of public investors 30 lakh number 2 during public investment for modern infrastructure towards implementation of the new India public sector enterprise policy. This shall be guided by PM Gati Shakti and be benefited by has been completed. The strategic synergy of multimodal approach. Moving forward, the strategic partner for Neelachal Ispat Nigam Limited has been selected. PM Gati public issue of the LIC inclusive development shortly. Productivity enhancement and investment for Sunrise Opportunity 23, energy transition and climate action and for financing of investments. The National Bank for Infrastructure Development and National Asset Reconstruction Company have commenced their activities. Is a transformative approach for economic growth and sustainable development. 2021, the approach is driven by 7 engines, namely roads, railways, airports, ports, mass transport, waterways, and logistics infrastructure. With the Honorable Prime Minister, all 7 engines will pull forward the economy in unison. Is continuing to these engines from the are supported by the complementary roles of energy transmission, IT communication, bulk water and sewerage, to provide and social infrastructure. Finally, the approach is powered by clean energy and Sabka Prayas, which is futuristic and inclusive. The efforts of the central government, the state governments, and the private sector to farmers, leading to a huge job and entrepreneurial opportunities for all, especially the youth. PM Gati Shakti Master Plan, public investment National Modern Infrastructure, the scope of PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan will encompass the 7 engines for economic transformation, seamless multimodal connectivity, and logistics efficiency of multimodal approach. It will also include the infrastructure development by the state governments as per Gati Shakti Master Plan. The focus will be on planning, financing, including through innovative ways, use of technology and speedier implementation, productivity enhancement, the projects pertaining to these 7 engines in the national infrastructure pipeline and will be aligned with PM Gati Shakti framework of investment. The touchstone of the master plan will be world-class modern infrastructure and logistics synergy among different modes of movement, both of people and goods, and location of sustainable development. This will help. The approach is driven by productivity and accelerate economic growth and development. Roads, railways, airports, road transport, mass transport, PM Gati Shakti Master Plan for expressways will be formulated in 22-23 to facilitate faster movement of people and goods. Unison. The national highways network will be expanded by 25,000 kilometers in 2022-23. IT communication, 20,000 crores of rupees will be mobilized through innovative ways of financing to complement the public resources. By clean energy and the data exchange among all mode operators will be brought on unified logistics interface platform designed for application programming leading to a huge job. This will provide for efficient movement of goods for all different modes, reducing logistics costs and time, assisting just-in-time inventory management, and in eliminating tedious documentation. Will encompass most importantly, this will provide real-time information to all stakeholders and improve international competitiveness. It will also include the infrastructure development by the state government for organizing seamless travel of passengers. The focus will also be planning, financing, including through innovative contracts for implementation of multimodal logistics implementation at 4 locations through PPP mode will be awarded in the national infrastructure pipeline will be aligned, and railways will develop new products and efficient logistics services for small farmers and small and medium enterprises, and besides taking the lead in integration of both people and goods and railways network to provide seamless solutions for movement and accelerate economic growth and development. One station, one product concept will be popularized to help local businesses and supply chains to facilitate faster movement of people and goods. As a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat, 2,000 kilometers of network will be brought under Kavach, the indigenous world-class technology for safety and capacity augmentation in 2022-23. 400 new generation among all Bharat trains will be brought on unified efficiency interface and passenger riding experience application will be developed and manufactured during the next 3 years. For efficient movement of 100 PM Gati Shakti cargo terminals for multimodal logistics facilities will be developed during the next 3 years. Tedious documentation. Most innovative ways of financing and faster implementation will be encouraged for building and metro systems of appropriate type at open source mobility, multimodal connectivity between mass urban transport and railway stations will be facilitated on priority. Contracts for implementation of metro systems, logistics parks, including civil structures, will be reoriented and standardized for Indian conditions, and railways will develop new products and efficient logistics as a preferred ecologically sustainable alternative to conventional roads in difficult integration hilly areas. National Roadways Development Program will be taken up on PPP mode. For movement, the aim is to improve connectivity and convenience for commuters. Concepts will be besides promoting tourism help local businesses. This may also cover congested urban areas where conventional mass transit system as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Contracts for 2,000 kilometers of network for a length of 60 kilometers will be awarded in 22-23. For safety and capacity augmentation in 2022, with technical support from the Capacity Building Commission, Central Ministry, state governments, and their intra-agencies will have their skills upgraded. This will ramp up capacity in planning, and manufacture, design, financing, including innovative ways, and implementation management of the PM Gati Shakti infrastructure multimodal logistics facilities will be developed during inclusive development, our second priority. Agriculture. The procurement of wheat in Rabi 21-22 and the estimated procurement of paddy in Kharif 21-22 will cover 1,208 lakh metric tons of wheat and paddy from 163 lakh farmers will be facilitated on priority, and 2.37 lakh crores will be the direct payment of MSP value to their Indian conditions and needs. Chemical-free natural farming will be promoted throughout the country with a focus on farmers' lands in 5-kilometer wide corridors along the river Ganga at the first stage on PPP mode. The aim is to improve connectivity and convenience has been announced as the International Year of Millets. This support will be provided for post-harvest value addition, enhancing domestic consumption, and for branding millet products nationally and internationally. For a length of 60 kilometers will be awarded to reduce our dependence on import of oil seeds. A rationalized and comprehensive scheme to increase domestic production of oil seeds will be implemented. State governments for delivery of digital and high-tech services to farmers with involvement of public sector research and extension institutions along with private agri-tech players and stakeholders of agri-value chains projects. A scheme in PPP mode will be inclusive development, our second priority. Agriculture. The procurement of wheat in Rabi 21-22 use of Kisan drones will be promoted for crop assessment, will cover digitization of land records, spraying of insecticides of wheat and nutrients from 163 lakh farmers, and 2.37 will be encouraged to revise syllabi directly of agricultural universities to meet the needs of natural, zero budget, and organic farming. Modern-day agriculture, value addition farming will be promoted throughout the country. With a focus on farmers, a fund with blended capital raised under the co-investment model Ganga will be facilitated through the NABARD. This is to finance startups for agriculture and rural enterprise has been announced as the International Year of Value Chain. The activities of these startups will include inter alia, support for FPOs, and for machinery for farmers on rental basis at farm level, and technology including IT-based support. To reduce our dependence on import of implementation of the cane rationalized and comprehensive scheme to increase at an estimated cost of 44,605 crores. Will be taken up. And high-tech this is aimed at providing irrigation benefits to 9.0 lakh hectare of farmers' private agri-tech drinking water supply to 62 lakh agri-value chains. 103 megawatt PPP mode hydro will be launched. 27 megawatt of solar power. Allocations of 4,300 use of Kisan 4,300 will be promoted for crop in the RE 21-22 of land and 1,400 crores insecticides in 22-23 have been made for this project. States will be encouraged to revise draft DPR agricultural for 5 rivers to meet the needs of natural, namely Daman Ganga Pinjal, and organic farming, Partapi Nirmala agriculture, Godavari Krishna, and Krishna Pennar, and Pennar Kaveri have been finalized. Capital raised under the co-investment model. Once a consensus is reached among the beneficiary states, startups, the centre will provide support for their implementation. Relevant for farm produce value chain. For farmers to adopt of these suitable varieties of fruits and vegetables, support and to use appropriate production and harvesting techniques, on rental basis, our government will provide a comprehensive package with participation of state governments. The implementation of the Chain Betwa Udyam E-Shram at an estimated cost of 44,605 will be interlinked. Their scope will be taken up. They will now perform as portals with irrigation benefits, organic to databases, providing G2C, B2C, and B2B services. Supply to these services will relate to 103 megawatt of skilling, hydro, and recruitment with an aim to further formalize the economy and enhance entrepreneurial opportunities for all. 4,300 crores of rupees in emergency credit line to guarantee and 1,400 has provided the much needed additional credit to more than 130 lakh MSMEs. This has helped them mitigate the adverse impact of the pandemic. DPRs for 5 the hospitality and related services, especially those by micro and small enterprises, are yet to regain their pre-pandemic level of business. Considering these aspects, the ECLGS will be extended up to March 2023. Once a consensus is reached among the beneficiaries, the centre will provide support for their implementation. And its guarantee cover will be expanded by 50,000 crores of rupees to total cover of 5 and to use appropriate production and harvesting techniques. Our government will provide a comprehensive package with participation of state governments. With the additional amount being earmarked exclusively for the hospitality and related sectors, and ASEAN portals will be Credit Guarantee Trust for Micro and Small Enterprises. They will now perform as portals with scheme will be revamped organic with required infusion of funds. G2C, B2C. This will facilitate additional credit of 2 lakh crores for micro and small enterprises and expand employment opportunities with an aim to further formalize the economy and enhance entrepreneurial raising and accelerating for all. MSME performance ramp. Program will outlay with outlay of 6,000 crore over 5 years will be rolled out. This will help MSME sector become more resilient, competitive and efficient. This has helped them mitigate the adverse impact of the pandemic. The hospitality and related programs and partnerships with the industry will be reoriented to promote continuous skilling avenues, sustainability and employability. The National Skill Qualification Framework will be aligned with dynamic industry needs. And its guarantee cover digital ecosystem for skilling and livelihood, and its guarantee cover will be expanded by 50,000 crores of rupees to empower citizens to skill, reskill or upskill through online training. It will also provide API-based trusted skill credentials, payment and discovery layers with to find relevant jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities. Hospitality startups will be promoted to facilitate drone credit guarantee through varied applications and for drone as a service. MSC scheme will be revamped with required infusion in select ITIs in all states. This will facilitate the required courses for skilling will be started for micro and small enterprises and expand employment opportunities. Due to the pandemic-induced closure of schools, our children, particularly in the rural areas and those from scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and other weaker sections, have lost almost 2 years of formal education. Be rolled out. This will help MSME sector become more children in government schools. We recognize the need to impart supplementary teaching and to build a resilient mechanism for education delivery. With the industry, for this purpose, one class to promote one TV channel avenues, program of PM E-Vidya will be expanded from the National Skill Qualification Framework to 200 TV channels industry needs. This will enable all states to provide supplementary education in regional languages for classes 1 and this aims to empower citizens to skill, reskill or upskill through online training. It will also provide high-quality e-content in all spoken languages will be developed for delivery via internet, jobs, mobile phones, TV, and startups radio will be promoted to facilitate digital teachers. Through varied a competitive mechanism for development of quality e-content by the teachers will be set up to empower and equip them with digital tools in all teaching and facilitate better learning outcomes. Skilling will be started. A digital university will be established to provide access to schools. Due to the pandemic-induced closure of schools across the country, our children for world-class quality universal education from scheduled castes with personalized learning experience and other at their doorsteps have lost. This will be made available in different Indian languages and ICT formats. The university will be built on a networked hub to impart supplementary teaching with the hub building cutting-edge ICT expertise for education delivery. The best public universities and institutions in the country will collaborate as a network of hub and spoke. PM E-Vidya will be expanded. An open platform for the national digital health ecosystem will be rolled out. 200 TV channels. It will consist of digital registries of health providers all states and health facilities to provide supplementary health identity, consent framework languages with for classes and universal access to health facilities. 1 to 12. The pandemic has accentuated mental health problems in people of all ages. To better the access to quality mental health counseling and care services, a national tele-mental health program will be launched. This will include a network of 23 tele-mental health centers for development of excellent e-content by the teachers NIMHANS set up to being the nodal center and International Institute of Information Technology, Bangalore, IIIT Bangalore, providing technology support will be established to provide access to students. Recognizing the importance of Nari Shakti as a harbinger of our bright future education and for women-led development during the Amrit Kaal, our government has comprehensively revamped the schemes of the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Accordingly, built 3 schemes, namely Mission Shakti, Mission Vatsalya, Saksham Anganwadi and Poshan 2.0. were launched recently universities and to provide integrated benefits to women and children. A network of hub and spoke. Saksham Anganwadis are a new generation Anganwadis that have better infrastructure and audio-visual aids. It will consist of digital registries of health providers powered by clean energy and providing improved environment for early childhood development. And 2 lakh Anganwadis will be upgraded under this scheme. The pandemic has accentuated mental health current coverage of Har Ghar Nal Se Jal is 8.7 crores and of this is 5.5 crore households were provided tap water in last 2 years itself. This will include a network of 23 mental health allocation of 60,000 crores of rupees has been made with an aim to cover 3.8 crore households and international in 2022 and 23 Bangalore. IIIT Bangalore in 2022-23 support. 80 lakh houses will be completed for the identified eligible beneficiaries of the PM Awas Yojana of our bright both rural and women-led development. 48,000 crores is allotted for this comprehensively The central government will work with the state governments for reduction of time required for all land and construction-related approvals, for promoting affordable housing for middle class and for the economically weaker sections in urban areas. We shall also work with the financial sector, regulators, to expand access to capital along with reduction in cost of intermediaries. Infrastructure and audio-visual aids. A new scheme, Prime Minister's Development Initiative for the Northeast environment will be implemented through the Northeastern Council. It will fund infrastructure in the spirit of PM Gati Shakti and social development projects current coverage of needs of the Northeast. This will enable livelihood activities for youth and women, filling the gaps in various sectors. It will not be a substitute for existing central or state schemes. While the central ministries may also post the candidates of rupees has been made with an aim to cover, priority will be given to those households by in 2022. An initial allocation of 1,500 crores of rupees will be made, and the initial list of projects is given for the in Annexure 1 of my speech. Of the PM Awas Yojana. Our vision to improve the quality of life of citizens in the most backward districts of the country through aspirational district program has been translated into reality in a very short span of time. 95% of those 112 districts for middle class significant progress economically in key sectors in urban areas such as health, we should also work with the financial inclusion and basic infrastructure to expand access to capital along with some of the state average value intermediaries. A new scheme, Prime Minister's Development Initiative for the Northeast, however, will be implemented through the some blocks continue to lag. It will fund in 22-23. The program will focus on such blocks and social development districts based on felt needs of the Northeast. Border villages will enable livelihood activities for youth and limited connectivity, filling the gaps in various sectors. Often it will not be from the development gains. Central or such villages on the northern border will be covered under a new Vibrant Villages program. Priority will be given to those posted by the activities will include construction of village infrastructure, 1,500 crores tourist centers will be made, road connectivity, provisioning of decentralized renewable energy, direct-to-home access for Doordarshan, and educational channels, and vision to improve the quality of their livelihood generation. The most additional funding of the country. For these activities, districts will be provided, has been translated schemes into reality will be converged. We will define their outcomes and monitor them on a constant basis. 112 districts have made significant progress in 2022. 100% of 1.5 lakh post offices financial will come on the core banking system, enabling financial inclusion and access average to accounts through net banking, mobile banking, ATMs, and also provide online transfer of funds between post office accounts and bank accounts. This will be helpful, especially for farmers and senior citizens. The program will in rural areas, enabling interoperability and financial inclusion. Border villages with sparse population, Honorable Speaker, limited connectivity in recent years, and infrastructure, digital banking, often get left digital payments, development gains, and fintech innovations have grown on the northern at a rapid pace will be covered under government is continuously encouraging these sectors to ensure that the benefits of digital banking reach every nook and corner of the country in a consumer-friendly manner. Road connectivity, taking forward this agenda renewable energy, and to mark 75 years of our independence, and it is proposed to set up and 75 digital banking units in 75 districts of the country for these scheduled commercial banks will be provided. existing schemes will be converged. Support for digital payment ecosystem and monitor them announced in the previous budget will continue in 22-23 as well. In 2020, this will encourage 100% of digital payments. Post offices. There will also be a focus to promote use of payment enabling financial that are economical and user accounts through net banking, mobile banking, ATMs, to the next priority. And also provide online transfer of funds. Over 25,000 compliances were reduced, and this nearly 1,500 union laws were repealed. And senior citizens this is the result in rural areas of our government's strong commitment interoperability for minimum government and maximum governance. 1,486 union laws in recent years were repealed. Digital banking, digital payments, and fintech innovations have grown in the public and ease of doing business is what is highlighted here. Government is continuously encouraging these sectors. The next phase of ease of doing business, that the benefits of ease of doing business 2.0 and ease of living and corner of the country in our endeavor to improve productive efficiency of capital and human resources. Taking forward this we will follow the idea of 75 years of our independence. The new phase proposed to set up guided by an active involvement of the state units in 75 digitization of manual processes by an intervention, integration of the central and state level systems through IT bridges, for a single point access for all citizen-centric services will continue in 22-23 standardization this will and removal of overlapping compliance of digital payments. Crowdsourcing of suggestions also be a and ground level assessment of the impact payment with active involvement of citizens and businesses will be encouraged. A single window portal move to the next priority for all green clearance. Over 25,000 compliances were reduced. It has been instrumental in reducing the time required for approvals significantly. This is the result of our government's strong commitment expanded to provide information to the applicants based on location of units. Information about specific approval will be provided. It will enable application for all in the public and ease of doing business through a single form and tracking of the process through the next centralized ease of doing the center green ease of doing business 2.0 and ease of living will be launched. In our endeavor to improve productive efficiency, the issuance of e-passports using embedded we will follow the idea and futuristic technology governance will be rolled out in 22-23 to enhance the convenience for the state citizens in their overseas digitization of manual processes and interventions. By the time of India at 100 level system, nearly half of population is likely to be living in urban areas. Citizens to prepare for this. Orderly urban development is of critical importance and removal of overlapping will help realize the country's economic potential, including livelihood opportunities for the demographic with active involvement of citizens. And on the one hand, we need to nurture the megacities and their hinterlands to become current centers of economic growth. On the other, for all we need to facilitate Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities to take on the mantle. It has been instrumental in reducing the time required. This would require us to reimagine our cities into centers of sustainable living. This portal will be expanded with opportunities for provide information to the including women and our based youth. On location for this to happen, information urban planning cannot continue with a business as usual approach. It will be. We plan to steer a paradigm change. All four a high-level committee to reputed urban planners, urban economists, and institutions will be formed to make recommendations on urban sector policies, capacity building, planning, implementation, and governance. The issuance of e-passports using urban capacity building and futuristic support will be provided to the state. Rolled out in 2023 modernization of building to enhance the convenience town planning for the citizens. Transit-oriented development will be implemented. This will facilitate reforms for people to live and work closer to the mass transit system to be living in urban areas. The central government's financial support for mass transit projects, urban development and Amrit scheme will be leveraged. This will help for formulation of economic plans, including implementation for facilitating the TOD and TPS. For this, on the one hand, we need to nurture for developing the megacities and the India-specific knowledge current in urban planning and design. On the other, and to deliver certified training in these areas, Tier 2 up to 5 existing academic institutions in different regions will be us to reimagine our cities as centers of excellence, sustainable living. These centers will be provided, including women and fund of 250 crore. For this to happen, urban planning cannot continue with a business as usual approach. Will take the lead to improve syllabi, a paradigm quality change, and access of urban planning courses in other institutions, urban economists, and we will promote a shift to use of public transport in urban areas. This will be complemented by clean tech and governance solutions, special mobility zones with zero fossil fuel policy, and support will be provided to the states. Modernization of building bylaws policy. Town planning, considering the constraint of space in urban areas, will be implemented for setting up charging stations at schemes. For a battery swapping policy to the mass will be brought transit systems, and interoperability standards will be formulated support for mass transit projects, and Amrit schemes will be leveraged for formulation of action plans, and the private sector will be encouraged to develop sustainable TOD and TPS and innovative business models for battery or energy as a service. India-specific this will improve efficiency in urban planning in the EV ecosystem, and to deliver certified training in these areas. Efficient use of land resources is a strong imperative. States will be encouraged to adopt unique land parcel identification number to facilitate IT-based management of records. The facility will be for transliteration of land records across any of the Schedule 8 languages. In addition, will also be rolled out. Will take the adoption to improve of linkage with national generic and access document registration system NGDRS. With the One Nation, One Registration we will promote a shift to use of public transport as an option for areas. Uniform this process of registration, tech and governance solutions, special mobility and documents with zero fossil fuel policy. Necessary amendments in the core vehicles. IBC battery will be carried out to enhance the efficiency of the resolution process and facilitate cross-border insolvency resolution. A battery swapping policy will accelerated be corporate and interoperability standards. Several IT-based systems have been established for accelerated registration of new companies. Now the Center for Processing Accelerated the private sector will be encouraged to develop sustainable will process re-engineering models for battery will be established to facilitate and speed up the voluntary winding up of these companies from the currently required 2 years. Efficient use of land resources is a strong imperative. States will be encouraged to adopt unique land parcel identification government rules to facilitate been modernized for the needs of Amrit facility for the new rules have land records from the inputs from various state languages. The modernized rules allow use of transparent quality criteria of linkage with national evaluation of complex systems. Provisions have been made for payment registration software. 75% of running bills as an option mandatorily uniform 10 days of registration and for encouraging settlements of anywhere registration through conciliation of deeds and documents. Necessary amendments in to enhance transparency and to reduce delays in payments to a completely paperless of the resolution end-to-end online e-bill system will be launched for use by all central ministries for their procurement. Accelerated corporate exit. The system will enable the suppliers and contractors to submit online registration of digitally signed bills. Now the Center for Processing and track accelerated corporate from anywhere exit C pace. will to reduce indirect cost for suppliers, will be established and work contractors and speed up the voluntary winding up of these companies as a substitute from the currently required will be made acceptable to less than government procurements. Business government procurement imports may also find this useful. Have recently been modernized for the needs of insurance regulator has given the framework for issue of surety bonds by insurance companies. The modernized rules allow use of transparent quality criteria besides cost and evaluation, visual effects, gaming, provisions have been made for payment of offers immense potential of running the youth. Mandatory ABGC promotion task and for encouraging settlement with all stakeholders through conciliation will be set up to recommend ways to realize as a further step to enhance domestic capacity and to reduce serving our markets and completely the global demand. End-to-end online telecom system will be launched. Telecommunications in general and 5G technology in particular can enable growth and offer job opportunities. The system will enable the suppliers required spectrum auctions will be conducted in 2022 to facilitate the rollout and claim of 5G mobile service from anywhere within 2022-23 to reduce indirect private telecom providers and work contractors the use of surety bonds as a substitute for scheme for design-led manufacturing will be launched to build a strong ecosystem for 5G as part of the production linked may also find this scheme useful. IRDAI, insurance regulator, to enable affordable broadband for issue of mobile surety bonds proliferation in rural and remote areas. 5% of annual collections under the Universal Service Obligation Fund will be allocated, and this will provide and this will promote R&D and commercialization of technologies and solutions. An ABGC promotion vision is that all villages and their residents will be set up same access to recommend ways to realize communication facilities and build domestic capacity for serving our markets and as urban areas demand and their residents. Telecoms, the contracts for laying optical telecommunications in all villages and 5G including remote areas in particular will be awarded under the Bharat and offer project opportunities through PPP in 22 and 23 will be conducted in completion is expected in 2025. Rollout of 5G measures will be taken to enable better and more efficient use of the optical fiber. Private telecom provider export promotion. A scheme for design-led manufacturing will be launched to build a strong ecosystem. The special economic zones as part of the production link will be replaced with a new legislation that will enable the states to become affordable broadband in development of enterprise and service hubs in rural and remote areas. This will cover 5% all large existing and new industrial enclaves service to optimally utilize will be available infrastructure. This will provide enhanced competitiveness of exports and commercialization of technology in defense solutions. Our government is committed to reducing imports and promoting Atmanirbharta in equipment for the armed forces. Communication 68% of the capital procurement budget resources will be earmarked for domestic industry and in 22-23. The contracts for laying optical fiber in all villages 58% in 21-22 will be awarded under the BharatNet project will be opened up for industry in startups and 23 and academia. Completion is 25% of defense R&D budget earmarked. Measures will be taken to enable private industry will be encouraged to take up the design and development of military platforms and equipment in collaboration with DRDO and other organizations through SPV model. An independent nodal umbrella body will be set up for meeting wide-ranging testing act and certification required the new legislation. that will artificial intelligence to become geospatial systems in development of enterprise, semiconductor and its ecosystem. This will cover space economy, genomics, and pharmaceuticals, and new industrial and green energy and clean mobility utilize have immense potential to assist sustainable development, competitiveness at scale of exports, and modernize the country. They provide employment opportunities for our youth and make Indian industry more efficient and promoting competitive. Support equipment policies, light touch regulation, facilitative procurement budget to build domestic capacities and promotion of research and development will guide the government's approach. For R&D in the sunrise opportunity, in addition to efforts of collaboration among academia, industry and public institutions, startups, government contribution will be provided. With 25% of defense R&D budget, energy transition and climate change. The risks of climate change are the strongest negative external and externalities that affect India and other countries. In collaboration with the Honorable Prime Minister said at the COP26 summit in Glasgow last November, and I quote, umbrella body, what is needed today is mindful and deliberate utilization required instead of mindless, destructive artificial intelligence, unquote, geospatial systems, and the low-carbon development strategy, as enunciated in the space economy that we announced is an important reflection of our government's strong commitment towards sustainable development. To assist the strategy opens up huge employment opportunities and will take the country on a sustainable development path for our youth. This budget make Indian industry several near-term and long-term actions support according policies, solar power regulations, to facilitate domestic manufacturing capacity, the ambitious goal of 280 gigawatts of installed solar capacity by 2030. For R&D, an additional allocation of 19,500 crores for PLI, industry and public institutions for manufacturing contribution will high-efficiency modules with priority to fully integrate manufacturing units. The risks of climate change are the strongest solar PV modules externalities that affect India and other countries. Honorable Speaker, sir, as Honorable Prime Minister said, Economy Transition Summit is expected to help in productivity enhancement, and I quote, as well as creating large opportunities for new businesses and jobs. The action plans for 10 sectors such as electronic waste, unquote, end-of-life vehicles, use low-carbon oil development strategy, toxic and hazardous industrial waste are already ready. Is an important reflection will now be on addressing important cross-cutting issues of infrastructure. The strategy opens up huge employment opportunity, upgradation, and will take the country and integration with informal sector. This will be supported by active several near-term covering regulations, extended producers' responsibilities, solar framework, and innovation facilities. To facilitate domestic manufacturing for the ambitious goal 5 to 7% biomass pellet installed solar capacity by 2030 in thermal power plants, resulting in 19 carbon dioxide 500 crores of 38 MMT and incentives. This will also provide extra income to farmers and job opportunities to local priority and help avoid stubble burning in agricultural fields. To solar PV saving energy is an important aspect of the energy management. Honorable Speaker, energy efficiency and saving measures will be promoted to help in this will be done in large commercial buildings through the energy service and jobs company business model. The action plans will facilitate capacity building such as electronic energy audits, end-of-performance contracts, and common measurement of waste and verification toxic and hazardous industrial waste. 4 pilots are already projects ready for coal gasification. The focus and conversion of coal into chemicals important required for the industry will be set up to evolve reverse technical and financial technology upgradation. and integration with informal sector and required legislative changes supported by to promote public forestry covering and private forestry will be brought in. In addition, financial support will be provided innovation to farmers belonging to scheduled castes and scheduled tribes who want to take up 7% biomass agroforestry will be co-fired Speaker, in thermal power plants, resulting in financing carbon dioxide savings of capital investment holds the key to speedy and sustainable economic revival and job and consolidation through its multiplier effect, and help avoid capital investment also helps in creating employment opportunities. Saving induced enhanced demand for manufactured energy management from large industries and MSMEs will be promoted from professionals. This will be done and help in large commercial buildings through the energy service. The economy has shown strong resilience to come out of the effects of the pandemic for energy with high growth performance. However, we need to sustain that level to make up for the setback of 2020-2021 for coal gasification outlined and conversion of coal into chemical earlier required for the industry cycle of investment required public investment to crowd in private investment. The policies at this stage and private investments seem to require that support to rise to their potential and private forestry will be to the needs of the economy. In addition, public investment must continue to take the lead belonging to scheduled prime the private investment and demand in 2022-23. Considering the above imperative, fourth priority, the outlay for capital expenditure in the Union budget is once again being stepped up sustainably economic revival and consolidation through its multiplier effect. Capital investments also helps in creating employment opportunities to 7.50 demand for manufacturing in 22-23 from large industries and MSMEs. This has increased to more than 2.2 times the expenditure of 2019-20. The economy has shown 22-23 will be to come out of the effect 9% of the GDP growth. However, we need to sustain that level to make up for the setback of 2020-2021. Taken together, as with the provision made for creation of capital assets through grants and aid required through grants and aid to states to crowd the effective capital expenditure of the central government is estimated at seem to require that support to rise to their potential in 22-23, which will be above 4.1% of the GDP. Prime the private investment green and demand in 2022. As a part of the government's overall market borrowings in 22-23, sovereign green bonds will be issued for mobilizing resources for green infrastructure is once again being stepped up. The proceeds will be deployed in public sector projects, which help in reducing the carbon intensity of the economy. 5.54 lakh crore in the current year to 7.50 lakh world-class foreign universities 23 and institutions will be allowed in the gift city. This has increased to more courses in the financial management, 2.2 times the expenditure of 2019-20, engineering and mathematics, free from domestic regulations, 9% of the GDP by the IFSCA to facilitate availability of high-end human resources for financial services, investment and technology. Taken together with the provision made for creation of capital arbitration center grants will be set up in the gift city through grants for timely settlement. The effective capital under international jurisprudence is estimated at 10.68 for global capital in sustainable and climate finance in the country will be facilitated 4.1% of the GDP. Green bonds, infrastructure state as a part of the government overall market borrowing and energy storage systems including dense charging infrastructure, will be issued for grid-scale battery systems will be included in the harmonized list of infrastructure. Will be deployed in public sector facilitate credit availability, which help in for digital infrastructure and clean energy storage. GIFT IFSC. Venture capital and private equity invested more than 5.5 lakh institutions will be allowed in the GIFT facilitating one of the largest on the financial and management startup fintech system. Science, technology, scaling up this investment requires a holistic examination of domestic regulation and other except those by an expert committee will be set up to examine availability of appropriate human resources for financial services, government-backed funds, NIIF and International Fund of Funds Center have provided skill capital, creating a multiplier for timely settlement of disputes under for encouraging important sunrise sectors services such as climate action, deep services for global digital economy, for sustainable and climate finance in the country. The government will promote these thematic funds for blended finance, with the government share being limited to 20%, and the funds being managed and energy by private system fund managers, including dense charging infrastructure and grid-scale financing the infrastructure needs, harmonized the stepping up of public investment. This will need to be complemented by private capital digital and significant and clean energy. Measures will be taken to enhance financial viability of projects, including PPP, more than with technical and knowledge assistance from multilateral agencies, facilitating enhancing financial viability and shall also be obtained by adopting global best scaling up this innovative ways of financing and balanced of risk regulatory and other digital rupees. An expert committee will be set up to examine and suggest appropriate measures. Introduction of a central bank digital currency will give a big boost to digital economy. Provided scale capital, creating a digital currency effect. Will also lead to a more efficient and cheaper currency management system, such as climate action, proposed deep tech to introduce digital economy, digital rupee, using blockchain and other technologies to be issued by the Reserve Bank of India for blended finance, with the government share being limited to 20%, and the funds financial assistance by private to state managers for capital investment. For financing reflecting the true spirit of cooperative federalism, the central government is committed to bolstering the hands need to be complemented by private enhancing at a significant capital investment towards measures will be taken to creating financial viability and generating remunerative employment, with technical and knowledge financial and multilateral to states for enhancing financial viability has been extremely well received by the states. By adopting global in deference to the innovative ways of financing received during my meeting with the chief ministers and state finance ministers, digital rupee. The outlay for this scheme is being enhanced from 10,000 crores in the budget estimates to 15,000 crores in the revised estimate for the current year. Will give a big boost to digital economy. For 22-23 will also lead to a more efficient and cheaper currency management system. It is therefore proposed, I'll repeat that sentence for the benefit of many of our honourable members, using blockchain and other technologies to be issued by the Reserve Bank of India received during my meeting with chief ministers and state finance ministers. The outlay for this scheme is being enhanced from 10,000 crores in the BE to 15,000 crores, 15,000 crores, reflecting in the RE of the current year. The central government is committed to bolstering the hands of the allocation is in enhancing their capital investment towards the state, creating productive assets in catalyzing the overall investments in the economy for financial assistance to states. These 50-year interest-free bonds well received by the state are over and above the normal borrowings allowed received during my meeting with the chief ministers and state financing ministers. The outlay for this scheme is being enhanced from 10,000 crores will be used in the budget estimate Gati Shakti related and other products in the revised investments of the state for the current year. It will also include components for supplemental funding for priority segments of PM Gram Sadak Yojana, including support for the state's share, digitization of the economy, including digital payments and completion of OFC network, and reforms related to building bylaws received from town planning during my meeting with oriented development and transferable development. The outlay for this scheme is being enhanced from 10,000 crores in the BE to 15,000 crores in accordance with the recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission. The states will be allowed a fiscal deficit of 4% of the GST. The allocation is of 1.5% will be tied to power sector reforms, for which the conditions have already been communicated in 21 the economy. Fiscal management. These 50-year interest-free bond loans are over and above the normal borrowing allowed to the states. The revised estimate is 37.70 lakh crores. The revised estimate this allocation will be used for PM Gati Shakti related and other productive capital investments of the state. This includes an amount of 51,970 funding for priority segments of PM settlement of outstanding guaranteed liabilities, including support for the state's share and other sundry digitization of the economy, including digital payments and completion of OFC network. And the total expenditure in 22-23 is estimated planning schemes, 39.45 and transferable development. While the total receipts other than borrowings are estimated at 22.83 in accordance with the recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission, the states will be allowed a fiscal deficit of 4% of the GSDP, of which 0.5% will be tied to power sector reform. The revised fiscal deficit, Honorable Speaker, in the current year in 21 is estimated at 6.9% of the GDP, as against 6.8% projected in the budget estimate. Lakh crores the fiscal deficit in 22-23 is estimated at 6.4% of the GDP, which is consistent with the broad path of the fiscal consolidation announced by me last year to reach a fiscal deficit level below 3.5% by 25-26. This includes an amount of fiscal deficit level in 22-23 unconscious towards the need to nurture guaranteed liabilities public investment to become stronger and sustainable. I will now move to Part B of my speech. Coming to the budget estimates, Honorable Speaker, sir, the total expenditure in 22-23 is estimated at 39.45 lakh crores, while the total receipts direct other than borrowings Honorable Speaker, sir, at 22.84 I take this opportunity to thank all the taxpayers of our country who have contributed immensely and strengthened the hands of the government in helping their fellow citizens in this hour of need. So I have brought in a little verse from the Mahabharata in the current year. I won't spend more time reading because I would like the speech to get enough time. GDP. However, the substance of it is the king must make arrangements for Yoga Kshema, which is the welfare of the populace, by way of abandoning any laxity and by governing the state in line with Dharma, along with correcting taxes consolidation which are in consonance with to reach a fiscal deficit level Mahabharata Shanti Parva Adhyaya by Shloka 11 from 72. While setting the fiscal deficit level in 22-23, drawing wisdom from our ancient texts, we continue on the path to nurture growth. The proposals in this budget, while continuing with our declared policy of stable and predictable tax regime, I will now move to Part B. Intend to bring more reforms that will take ahead our vision to establish a trustworthy tax regime. This will further simplify the tax system, promote voluntary compliance by taxpayers, and reduce litigation. Direct tax. Introducing new updated return I take this opportunity to thank all the ratepayers of our country, and people are undertaking multiple financial transactions. The Income Tax Department has established a robust framework of reporting of taxpayers' transactions. In this context, some taxpayers may realize that they have committed omissions or mistakes in correctly estimating their income for tax payment. To provide an opportunity to correct such errors, I am proposing a new provision permitting taxpayers to file an updated return on payment of additional tax. And by governing this updated return can be filed within 2 years from the end of the relevant assessment year. This is Mahabharata Shanti Parva Adhyaya, Shloka 11 from 17. Honorable Speaker, sir, presently, if the department finds out that some income has been missed out by an assessee, it goes through a lengthy process of adjudication.
It looks like, it can't be just one way of looking at pushing the agri-sector reforms or, taking it higher from the 3.9%, growth figures as well.
Yeah, and in that context, the change in the taxation structure for cooperatives, bringing it at par with companies, now that actually means that the cost of forming a cooperative becomes less.
Compliant financial transactions. The Income Tax Department has
despite an emergency credit line extension of 50,000 crore,
alternative minimum
the overall extension to 5 lakh crore rupees, and also that they have committed cover for more than 2 lakh crore rupees, mainly targeted
required to pay alternate minimum to provide an opportunity to correct 18 and 1.5%. I am proposing a new provision permitting taxpayers the same rate and the same on alternate minimum tax.
Meditation, a sense of calm that comes from being transported to your umami place. On time, lowest price, or we'll make it right.
This rate for the cooperative societies also to 15% presently if the department finds out that some income has been missed out by an assessee. I also propose to reduce through a lengthy process of on cooperative societies instead from the present 12% now to 7% trust report for those having total income of more than 1 crore to declare the income that she may have. This would help in enhancing income of cooperative societies while filing her return members who are mostly from the rural and full farming proposal are given in the finance bill. It is an affirmative step in the direction of voluntary compliance. The parent or guardian of a differently abled person can take an insurance scheme for alternative minimum. The present law provides for deduction to the parent or guardian only if the lump sum payment or annuity is available to the different minimum tax at the rate of 18 and 1.5 subscriber, that is the parent or the guardian. Pay the same rate situations where the differently abled, which is the alternate minimum tax, may need payment of annuity or lump sum amount even during the lifetime of their parent or guardian. Societies and companies. I propose to reduce the payment of annuity or and lump sum amount to 15% to the differently abled dependents during the lifetime of the parent and guardian. Speaker, that is parent or guardian to reduce attaining the age of 60 on cooperative societies from the present 12% to 7% for those having between employee income of more than 1 crore and up to 10 crore. At present, the central government contributes 14% of the salary of its employees to the National Pension System (NPS) Tier 1. This is allowed as a deduction in computing the income of the employee. However, such parent or guardian of differently to the extent of 10% can take an insurance scheme for in case of employees of the present law provides for deduction to the parent or guardian both central and state government employees payment I propose or an increase the tax available to the deduction limit from 10% on the death to 14% on employers' contribution to the MPS account of where the differently employees as well may need payment of annuity enhancing the social security benefits during the lifetime of their parent or guardian, bringing them at par with central government employees. To allow the payment of annuity or and lump sum amounts to the differently abled dependents. Startups have emerged during the lifetime of the parent and guardian economy. That is, parent or guardian. Over the past few years, the country has seen a manifold increase in successful startups. Eligible startups established before 31/3/2022 had been provided. The central government contributes 3 consecutive years out of the 10 years to the National Pension System (NPS). In view of the COVID pandemic, I propose to extend the period of incorporation income of the eligible startups by 1 more year. That allowed only to 31/3/2023 for providing employees of state centers to provide equal treatment to both central and state government employees. Incentives propose to increase newly incorporated manufacturing entities under concessional tax to 14% in an effort to establish contribution a global competitive business environment of state government employees and domestic companies. This would help in enhancing the social 15% was introduced by our government and bring for newly incorporated domestic manufacturing companies. I propose to extend the last date for commencement of manufacturing or production under emerged section as 115B for our economy by 1 more year. That is, the country has seen a March 2023 to 31st March 2024. Eligible startups established before 31/3/2022 had been provided a tax incentive for 3 consecutive years out of the 10 years scheme for taxation of virtual digital assets. In view of the COVID pandemic, there has been a phenomenal increase in incorporation in virtual digital assets by 1 more year. The magnitude and frequency of these transactions have made it imperative to providing for a specific tax regime. Accordingly, for the taxation of virtual digital assets, incentives I propose to provide that any income from transfer of any virtual digital asset in an effort to establish a global competitive business environment 30% for certain domestic companies in respect of any expenditure or allowance shall be allowed while computing such income for newly incorporated domestic manufacturing companies. Further, I propose to extend the last date for commencement of manufacturing or production cannot be set off against any other income. Further, in order to capture the transaction details from 31st March 2023 to 31st March 2024 on payment made in relation to transfer of virtual digital assets at the rate of 1% of such consideration above a monetary threshold. Gift scheme for taxation of virtual is also proposed to be taxed in the hands of the recipient. There has been a phenomenal increase in transaction in virtual digital assets. The magnitude litigation management to avoid repetitive appeals by the department for a specific. It has been observed that a lot of time and resources are consumed in fighting of appeals which involve identical issues. I propose to provide that taking forward a policy of sound litigation management, I propose to provide that if a question of law be taxed at the rate of 30% of an assessee is identical to a question of law in respect of any expenditure before a jurisdictional high court or Supreme Court in any case such income, the filing of further appeal in the case of this assessee by the department shall be deferred till such a question of law is decided by the jurisdictional high court against any other income. This will greatly help in reducing, in order to capture the repeated litigation between taxpayer propose to provide the department for TDS on payments made in relation to further promote the IFSC, which I hereby propose to provide that income of a non-resident from offshore derivative instruments or over-the-counter derivatives issued by an offshore banking unit, income from royalty and interest on account of lease of ship, and income received from portfolio management services in IFSC shall be exempt from tax. Litigation management to avoid repetitive appeals by the department of surcharge. It has been observed that a lot of time there are several resources are consumed in filing terms and conditions mandatorily require formation of a consortium. Taking forward the members in the consortium are generally companies. I propose to provide that if the income of these AOP in the case of an SSC is identified to a question of law, which is pending in the appeal more than before the jurisdictional individual companies. In any case, accordingly, I propose to cap the surcharge of in the case of this SSC at 15% shall be deferred till such a question of law is decided by the jurisdiction. The long-term capital gains or the unlisted equity shares, units, etc., are liable to maximum surcharge of 15%, while other long-term capital gains are subjected to a graded surcharge, which goes up to 37%. I propose to cap the surcharge on long-term capital gains arising on transfer of any type of asset or over-the-counter derivatives issued by an offshore banking unit will give a boost from to startup community and interest on along with my proposal on the extended tax received from portfolio manufacturing companies in IFSC shall be exempt from tax, reaffirms to specified commitment to Atmanirbhar Bharat of surcharge. In the clarification in relation to health and education work contracts, business whose terms and conditions mandatorily the income tax formation of a consortium is not an allowable expenditure for computation of business income. In such cases, this includes taxes as well as surcharges. Has to the health and education surcharge up to is imposed as an additional surcharge on the taxpayer for funding specific government welfare programs. To cap the surcharge of these. However, some courts have allowed health and education cess as business expenditure, which is against the legislative intent. Equity shares to reiterate, etc., the are liable to maximum surcharge. I propose to clarify that any surcharge or cess are subject on income and profits, which goes up not allowable as business expenditure. I propose to cap the surcharge on long-term capital gains, deterrence against on tax evasion. Any type of Honorable Speaker, sir, at 15.15, there is ambiguity. This step regarding the set-off to start brought forward loss and along with my proposal on the extended tax benefit detected to manufacturing operations. And it has been observed that in many cases where undisclosed income or suppression of sales, clarification in relation to health and education payment of tax is avoided by setting off of loss. The income tax, in order to bring certainty and to increase deterrence among tax evaders, I propose to provide that no set-off of any loss shall be allowed against undisclosed income detected during search and survey operations. Specific government welfare programs. However, some courts have allowed it has been noticed that as a business promotion strategy, which there is a tendency on businesses to pass on benefits to their agents. I propose to clarify are taxable in the hands of the agent or cess in order to track such transactions is not allowable to provide for tax deduction by the person giving benefits against if the aggregate value of such benefits exceeds 20,000 regarding set-off rupees of during the financial year. Undisclosed a few other changes are being made in the details of which are there in the finance bill. That in many cases, indirect tax, where undisclosed income remarkable progress or suppression of sales in GST is detected, payment of tax is avoided by setting GST has been a landmark reform in order to of independent India and to showcasing the spirit of cooperative federalism. While aspirations were high, that no there were huge challenges any loss. These challenges were overcome undisclosed and painstaking detected under the guidance and the oversight of the GST Council. We can now take pride in a fully IT-driven and progressive GST regime that has fulfilled the cherished dream of India. There is a tendency as one market, one to pass on. There are still some challenges remaining, and we aspire to meet them in the coming year. The right balance between facilitation and enforcement has engendered significantly better compliance by the person, and giving benefits has engendered value of such compliance. GST revenues are buoyant despite the pandemic. during the financial year. Bring in something a few other changes are being made, not part of my speech, but worth putting in here for the knowledge of the Honorable House. I would like to bring to the notice of this House in GST. I would like to bring to the notice of this House that GST has been a landmark collection of independent India of January 22 the spirit of are rupees 1,40,986 challenges. These challenges were overcome deftly and which is the highest under the guidance and the oversight of the GST Council. Since the inception of pride in a fully IT-driven and progressive GST regime that this has been possible due to rapid economic growth, one recovery, one tax. Post-COVID, there are still some challenges remaining, and we aspire to meet them in the coming year. The right balance between facilitation this has been possible due to the rapid economic recovery post-COVID, as well as various policy and administration undertaken by central and state despite the pandemic. Taxpayers deserve something which have got this growth. Not only did they adapt to the changes here, but enthusiastically contributed to the cost of paying tax. I would like to bring to the notice of this House special economic zones. In part A of my speech, I have referred to the proposed reforms in SEZ. For the month of January 2022, we will also undertake reforms in customs administration of SEZ, and it shall henceforth be fully IT-driven and function on the customs national portal with a focus on higher facilitation and with only risk-based checks. This has been possible due to rapid economic by SEZ units considered. Post-COVID, this reform shall be implemented by 30th September 2022. Customs reforms and duty rate changes. This has been possible due to the rapid administration has reinvented itself over the years, as well as liberalized procedures and administration and infusion of technology undertaken by central and customs has been fully established. During COVID-19 pandemic, taxpayers customs formation have done exceptional frontline work. Not only did they adapt against all odds, but enthusiastically contributed to the cost of paying tax. Customs reforms have played a very vital role in domestic capacity creation, providing level playing field to our MSMEs, easing the raw material supply side constraints, enhancing ease of doing business, and being an enabler to other policy initiatives such as PLI and function on the customs manufacturing portal. My proposal on customs side are aligned and with only risk-based project imports and capital goods. This will ease Doing Goods Policy 2016 aims at doubling the production of capital goods by 2035, September 2022. This would create an employment opportunities and result in increased economic activity. However, several duty exemptions even extending to over 3 decades in some cases have been granted to capital goods for various sectors like power, fertilizer, textiles, leather, footwear, food processing and fertilizers. These exemptions have hindered the growth of against domestic capital goods sector. Similarly, project import duty concessions have also deprived the local producers of a level playing field in areas like coal mining projects, power generation, transmission or distribution projects, railways, enhancing metro projects. Our experience suggests that reasonable tariffs are conducive to the growth of domestic industry and make in India without significantly impacting the cost of essential imports. Accordingly, Honorable Speaker, Sir, it is proposed to phase out the concessional rates in capital goods and project imports gradually aims at and apply a moderate tariff of 7.5%. Certain exemptions for advanced machinery that are not manufactured within the country shall continue. However, a few exemptions are being introduced on inputs like specialized castings, wall screw, and the linear motion guide to encourage domestic manufacturing of capital goods. Leather footwear. Food processing. In the last 2 budgets, we have rationalized several customs exemptions We have once again carried out an extensive consultation, including by crowdsourcing. As a result of these consultations, more than 350 exemption entries are proposed to be gradually phased out. These include exemptions on certain agricultural produce. Our experience suggests that reasonable tariffs are conducive to the growth of domestic industry, chemicals and Make in India, medical devices and drugs, and medicines for which sufficient domestic capacity exists. Further, as a simplification measure, several concessional rates are being incorporated in the customs tariff schedule and apply instead of prescribing them through various notifications. Certain exemptions for advanced comprehensive that are not manufactured within the country shall continue. Customs rate and tariff structure, particularly for sectors like chemicals, textiles, and metals, and minimize disputes. Removal of exemption on items which are or can be manufactured in India, and providing concessional duties on raw materials that go into manufacturing of intermediate products will go many a step forward in achieving our objective as a result of Make in India and more than 300. I shall now take up specific proposed to be gradually phased out. These include exemptions on certain agricultural electronic manufacturing has been growing rapidly. Customs duty rates are being calibrated to provide a graded rate chemicals to facilitate domestic manufacturing of wearable devices and medicines for which sufficient domestic capacity and electronic smart meters. Further, as duty concessions are being given to parts of transformer of mobile phone chargers and camera lens of mobile camera module and certain other such items. This will enable domestic manufacturing of high-growth electronic items, gems and jewelry, particularly for sectors like chemical, to give a boost to the gems and jewelry sector. Customs duty on cut and polished diamonds and gemstones is being reduced to 5%. Can be manufactured simply in India, and providing concessional nil customs raw materials to facilitate export of jewelry through e-commerce. A simplified regulatory framework shall be implemented by June this year. And to incentivize, import of undervalued imitation jewelry. The customs duty on imitation jewelry is being prescribed in a manner that the duty of at least 400 rupees per kg is paid on it to facilitate domestic manufacturing of wearable devices. Customs duty on certain critical chemicals, namely methanol, acetic acid, and heavy feedstock for petroleum refining are being reduced, while duty is being raised on sodium cyanide, for which adequate capacity in the domestic manufacturing of high-growth. These changes will help in enhancing domestic value addition. To give a boost to the gems and jewelry sector, duty on umbrellas is being raised to 20%, and exemption being reduced to parts of umbrellas is being withdrawn. Exemption is also being rationalized on implements and tools for agricultural sector which are manufactured in India. Shall be implemented duty exemptions given to steel scrap incentivized last year is being extended for another year to provide relief to MSME secondary steel producers is being prescribed in a manner that the duty of anti-dumping 400 and CBD on stainless steel and coated steel flat products, chemicals, bars of alloy steel, customs and high-speed steel critical are being removed in larger public interest, considering prevailing high petroleum refining methods are being reduced. While to incentivize exports, exemptions are being provided on items such as embellishment, trimmings. These changes will help in enhancing domestic value addition. Lining material, MSME leather, furniture, umbrellas, and packaging boxes that may be needed by bona fide exporters of handicrafts, textiles, leather garments, is also being rationalized on implements and tools for agricultural sector. Honorable Speaker, duty is being reduced on certain inputs required for shrimp aquaculture so as to promote its exports. For another year to provide relief tariff measure to MSME secondary blending of fuels. Blending of fuel is a priority for this government. And CBD to encourage the efforts for blending of fuel, unblended fuel shall attract an additional differential excise duty of being removed per in larger public from first considering prevailing October high 22 of metals. A few other changes are being made in duty rates, customs exemptions are being provided on items, the details of embellishment are there in the finance bill. Fasteners, Mr. Speaker, sir, with these words, I commend the budget to this August House. Furniture, fittings and packaging boxes that will be needed by bona fide exporters of handicrafts, textiles,
Nirmala Sitharaman
leather footwear and other goods. Honorable Speaker, sir, duty is being reduced on certain inputs required for shrimp aquaculture. Sir, with your permission, so as to promote its export. I rise to lay on the table the following statements under Section 3(1) of the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management FRBM Act 2003. Medium-term fiscal policy, fiscal policy strategy statement and macroeconomic framework shall attract an additional differential excise duty per litre from first day of October. Sir, item number 3. Finance bill. The changes are being made. With your permission, I rise to move for leave to introduce the Finance Bill 2022 law, the details of which
प्रश्न है कि वित्त विधेयक को पुनर्स्थापित करने की अनुमति प्रदान की जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में आ गए, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना गए, मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में माननीय मंत्री जी वित्त विधेयक को पुनर्स्थापित करें। श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण जी।
Sir, I introduce the bill.
सभा की कार्रवाई कल बुधवार दिनांक 2 फरवरी 2022 को 4:30 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है।
I rise to lay on the table the following statements under Section 3(1) of the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management FRBM Act 2003. Medium-term fiscal policy, fiscal policy strategy statement and macroeconomic framework statement.
Item number 3,
पूरा वातावरण उत्सुकता की